Should I say thanks on that one?
Yeah, 100%. No, that like you literally. I can't hear it, but here's the thing, Will. I think I'm awesome. I think I say the best things, and like it's like kind of Trumpian. I say the best things. My words are the best.
Words.
I choose them well.
No, he wouldn't say he chooses them well. He'd say he chooses them good or
Goodest.
gooder. Yeah, I wouldn't say well. God doesn't speak that well.
I personally
that
talked
eloquent.
to him. He's a good person. He's a good, amazing person.
Everyone's a good person in their own narrative. Pretty sure somehow Anakin Skywalker was like, no, man, I'm bringing order and, like, stability to the fucking galaxy. I mean, yeah, I had to murder some babies.
Thing? Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
literally
sure.
what I said. Like,
yeah, I gotta kill some babies. But you know what?
For the greater good.
You gotta break a few eggs if you want to make an omelet, and that's just how these things work. So let's go on down. You know, the one thing we're never gonna do though is encounter Ewoks. So I'm pretty sure we can say Endor is just fuck off, right? Yeah. Like we're not gonna go there ever.
The galaxy will not have peace unless these 12 children are murdered first.
Yeah, that is so dark.
Oh, Anakin. Oh, Annie.
That is just...
Doesn't make me comfortable. I'm not happy.
Master Skywalker. What is it, kids? Why are you wearing that really big floppy robe? You look like a fucking idiot.
Why? Wow. Oh, you gave me a reason, huh?
I'm not going to feel so bad.
Yeah, you know who's going to look dumb after this? Bunch of kids with their heads on pikes.
Oh, fuck, dude. Welcome to the Save vs. Poison podcast, the podcast dedicated to gaming, general geekery, and enduring sobriety in an ever-maddening society, with your host, Will, and two guys that probably live under his stairs. If you're an addict, know an addict, or are just interested in exploring the outer mysteries of geekery, you're in the right place. Without further ado, let's get to the show. Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's season 4, episode 14. We have a special show tonight. We've got humans from outside of the show on the show, which is very exciting for all of us and all of you. Broadcasting to you from the incredibly echoey basement that I've been having finished for the last 6 months. And I'm not sure that I'm not going to go back into the closet. Not only as a matter of feeling more comfortable there, just feeling sheltered and safe, but also because I'm going to have to do a lot of work post to do some echo reduction, because to me it sounds like I'm in the bottom of a well and Lassie is on the way to try to find Steve, but you can't find him. So I'm going to stay down here and die. That's what it sounds like to me. We got an exciting show tonight, though. At least, or I don't know about exciting. Maybe not exciting. It's been a fucking weekend, everybody. Like, there were some really good parts. I got to see some really good friends of mine. That was fantastic. I got to have a really good cigar. I'd never had that cigar before. It was a really delicious one. Got to share that with one of those close friends. But it's been a trying weekend. We'll talk about that a little bit with the check-in. Everybody in my immediate family is safe, and I'm very thankful for that. But yeah, it was a very, very trying weekend. So without further ado, joining me tonight, in ancient Japan, he would be called Geisha-san and would be sought after for his supple thighs. He's our dear friend Tiki. Good evening, Tiki.
Oh, wow. My thighs.
Your sweet, supple thighs, buddy. You just had a birthday. I wanted to say something nice about you.
No, you usually don't start with me, let alone throw out like a high compliment like that.
I know.
Supple thighs.
Oh, Geisha-san.
Yeah. I was going to say, you know what, we could, I don't know how to tie it in, but you made me think about when you talked about being in a well.
Yeah.
I don't think of Timmy, my generation, it's baby Jessica.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what she ever wound up doing with her life. I hope it was something good, but yeah.
I hope she ended up doing something good. That's all we've got for that. It's like there isn't a joke. We just hope that she got out of there and is doing something.
I hope now, and I didn't really look up to see if she's a murderer or something. I'm hoping that this goes well.
Look, I will say
she turned
this.
into a horrible racist. We should have left her in the well.
I hope that she grew up to have thighs as supple as mine.
Oh, I doubt it, dude. I doubt it. Yours have been straddling, that 750 engine on the regular, man.
Yep. It's true.
Oof, those things, like, those thighs have been shaken, not stirred. And that's what makes them so delightfully supple. Cinco, shut the fuck up. We haven't introduced you yet. Oh. Also joining us tonight, he has spent the last 2 weeks in a cabin in the woods trying to figure out a new sauce to go with his giraffe steaks. So far, his most successful has been pineapple and blue cheese. His breath smells real bad. He's our friend Steve. Hey, Steve.
I would never eat that sauce because it sounds salty and sweet. And
The
I don't
fuck you wouldn't, dude. I don't care. You're going all out to try to make this giraffe steak.
I am, but
memorable.
it would be good. It wouldn't be pineapple.
The hell it wouldn't.
Blue cheese.
No. Like a mad scientist. Just
like
you, a pair of goggles
or blue cheese. You can't
pair of goggles,
put those together.
a thong, and a lab coat.
The white lab coat
white
without
lab
the sleeves.
No sleeves. Yeah, you definitely cut those off.
I mean, sleeves are bullshit.
Sleeves are fucking bullshit, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. God, that's beautiful. So fucking beautiful. He's 6. No, go ahead, Tiki.
I was just going to say, I don't think that I would. Pineapple is the wrong fruit. You'd want to grab something native, right, from the Serengeti. I don't know what those are, but
why do you have to? I mean,
it's all the dish that way. The sauce and the meat all come from the same place.
I don't think he cares about that, man. I mean, Steve isn't like
What's
sold on the idea of only
he's
having regional delicacies that are just from the region.
He's not an artist. He's not
Googling native Serengeti fruit.
Yeah, I mean, Steve, would you eat chimichurri? All right, would you eat chimichurri from with the giraffe steak? Yes, of course you would.
Of course,
because chimichurri is fucking delicious. There's no giraffes in South America.
Not yet. We don't know.
Like they're an invasive species.
Well, there are hippos. There are hippos in South America. They're an invasive species. They're there because of what's his name, the drug dealer, the drug king.
Oh yeah, Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, he bought hippos, and he was like, I love hippos, and he put them in his like own little private zoo in his backyard. And then after he was arrested,
then he realized
was
like,
terrifying. Yeah, somehow like other people around the area were like, what do we do with these hippos? And they're like, I don't know, just let them loose in the river. They'll be fine. Now they have like this one area of that river right there that's got like a hippo infestation. They've been eating crocodiles and alligators and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. Never thought of a hippo as an invasive species.
I didn't. I did not think of. You think of like frogs or snakes or flies or
something
bees.
small.
Something
hard
small that's difficult to find in nature.
Hard to catch, hard to eliminate.
Yeah.
Or in the case of like domesticated cats, if you introduce them onto an island, like say Guam, to take care of a rodent problem, you will now have a feral cat problem.
Yeah, which is just a bigger rodent. Yeah. That's the problem with fucking YouTube videos, though, right? Like, I've seen a couple of YouTube videos where they have like baby hippos and they're really cute and they're playful with humans.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that fucking human, like it totally humanizes and takes like the sharp edges out of these terrifying creatures. Like there was one that I watched today that was like a cheetah doesn't. The sounds that it makes are it'll purr. They're adorable. They have like adorable sounds that they make. They don't like yowl or have a growl or anything like that. They have just adorable sounds. And there's this video of a woman just stroking this one cheetah's head. And all I can think is that thing will chase you down and rape eat you. That's what that cheetah will fucking do to you. Like, for real. Don't make rape eat you. I'm trying to make it as horrific as possible to counter how adorable the fucking thing is.
Well, like that lady with the chimpanzee who gave it tea and it ripped her face off.
Yeah, just ripped her fucking face
off. That's,
by
the way, that's literal
also.
awesome.
Give them the proper tea.
you gave, to be fair, it was oolong, and that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Hey, oolong's delicious.
Not too the ape creature.
Yeah, like you're like green tea and the ape. It's a,
You
yeah.
guys psy-ops yourselves. I really feel like you need to introduce our guests.
Shut up. I'll
What?
do it when I'm ready.
We'll get around to it. We're damn well good and
All
ready,
right.
Steve.
All right.
Now tell us what kind of fruit you found in Africa.
Tiki, shut the
Okay.
fuck up. I already got psyops once today, all right? Let me get to Cinco. No, god damn it, Steve.
Oranges.
Oranges.
Matoke? I don't know what that is. African mango. African peach. Dates. Aki.
He's 6 foot.
ACKEE.
He's 6'5" tall, which means he's the closest thing that we'll ever get to being able to find out what tall tastes like. Ladies and gentlemen, he's my friend. He's Tiki's friend. He's Steve's new best friend. He's our friend Cinco. Welcome to the show, Cinco. It's great to have you here, man. Thanks so much for showing up.
Fuck you, Steve.
Catching on real quick there, buddy.
Is that just because you're worried that I'm trying to get close to you to find out what tall tastes like?
It's just
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna Heisman you. Be like, get away.
I'm gonna eat
Heisman.
that guy.
I'm on to you, pal.
He's gonna have Cinco steaks,
As long as you don't, marinate me with blue or
pineapple and blue cheese.
and
Yeah, no, he
pineapple.
will.
Yeah,
Be terrible.
He
blue
will.
But
cheese.
possibly with a kiwanu melon. Yeah.
And blue cheese.
No, that's
Just gonna keep on
blue
throwing the
cheese
blue
is
cheese
just
in there
awful.
because it's
Blue
fucking
cheese
disgusting.
is awful.
Yeah,
My wife right now,
yeah.
even though, like right now while she's listening, she's like, I like blue cheese. Stop talking bad about blue cheese. I don't like blue
Well,
cheese.
I mean, she could be wrong more than once in her life.
Yeah, that's 2 times at least.
Yep.
Oh, baby.
There was marrying you, and then there's the
Uh-huh.
opinion on blue cheese.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's
I
2.
agree.
Yeah.
That felt like it was coming from a mile away.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No. Much
Probably
like the
could've left that
veins on
word.
my arms, there was a topographical map that I saw in my head towards that joke. Yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Hey, Cinco, how the hell are you, man? Great to have you.
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. So Cinco's been a friend of mine for let's see, it's been probably 13 years, 12,
Yeah, it's
13. I want to say something like that. But you and Tiki go back quite a ways further, I think. Tiki, why don't you and Mike give us a heads up on how the two of you know each other?
Yeah, roommates in college. I've known Mike since I was 28, and I just had my 46th birthday, so do the math.
God damn.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a while. And when I moved up to Colorado, I got work at Dish Network, and I helped Mike get on board there. And he has
You
pretty
ruined
much.
my life ever since.
Yep, he's held that against me ever since then.
Rightfully so. Let's be
Because
honest.
Dish
Yeah,
was a
Dish is
terrible place.
Terrible.
But yeah.
Terrible.
Gotcha. Cheers. All right. Okay. Steve doesn't know you, so there's that.
Thanks for
My pleasure.
illustrating it, I guess.
Glad to be a part of that. Steve, how the hell are you this week, man? How are things?
Things are fine.
Yeah?
Things are, relatively calm-ish,
Okay.
in a relatively not calm way. But yeah, things are
Relatively
good.
calmish in a
how are you?
relatively not calm way. How am I?
Yeah.
It's been a really trying weekend. I'm glad it's Monday. I'm glad that what I think was the major drama of basically the season for not for me personally, not for my family directly, but like this was such a bombshell of a thing happening that it completely overwhelmed my wife and I's emotional ability to process in a quick way. Like we'll be fine. We need to process it over a period of time though. Like normally things outside of your immediate family that come up, you're like, oh, okay, that sucks or that's great. But you're able to, basically just say, all right, well, it's not us directly. Well, this was, 2 steps removed. And the amount of emotional energy that we poured into it was quite a bit. And I don't know if I ever told you guys the story about the time that I almost stole a meth baby from the hospital.
Recently.
I think I said something about that. This was another one of those moments where I was like, I'm going to steal them babies. I'm going to steal some babies because even if I go to jail, it'll be better if those kids are raised by my single parent wife alongside my 2 boys than for them to be in the situation that they're in right now. I don't know if that's actually like 100% true. That's just where I
kind of a dick
was
move,
emotionally.
honestly.
What, stealing the
Isn't there-
babies and then going to jail? I mean,
Yeah,
somebody-
I mean, having your wife basically take care of the kid while you're, no, grand.
Yeah, but to
Cinco,
Will's
she
point,
would do it. Like, I can't go into the details on this because this is like recorded into perpetuity and I don't have like real permission to. But this is one of those situations where my wife would, mostly be on board with it, bro. Like, yeah.
Yeah, probably not the you going to jail part, but
No, she wouldn't be happy about that. But
But yeah, it's like
providing
like,
shelter to other kids, yeah, that's something
what's that
100%.
movie? What's that movie with Casey Affleck? Like Gone Baby Gone or something like that, or where he's the private detective in Philadelphia who is tracking on that drug addict, drunken lady's child who's been kidnapped, and she's like a horrible mother. Anyway.
I don't know.
It's a brilliant movie.
I'm trying to think. Fuck.
Go audience, go forth.
Yeah, audience, go forth. Bring us your informations on that film for later, so that we can talk about it next week. I guess maybe.
No, sure. Anyway, about you wanting to steal babies. Yeah.
Anyways, so trying weekend, but it was really great to get down to the basement and get everything set up. Like I've got the streaming setup going. This desk is way better than the one that I had upstairs. I have it much more ergonomically lined up. The lighting is great. The only thing I got to work on is the sound for the echo, and beyond that, I think it's gonna be great to have a larger space that is once finished gonna be a lot more fun to be recording and making content for you guys. And so yeah, that's where I'm at as far as general how I'm doing. Tiki, how are you doing, man?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I'm doing okay. Now I'm stuck with this idea that like the boogeyman wears a cape, and his name is Will. He's going to steal babies for the greater good.
I've had that thought twice in my life, and I think that like you get where I'm coming. I'm not just like stealing from the neighbors that have like happy home lives. Like I'm waiting for you to leave one of your doors open, and then I'm going to take the babies.
Maybe looks delicious.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. You're talking about you're just going to abduct the poor and the disenfranchised.
We're going to find out what short tastes like.
Your target demographic. Anyhow,
Hamburglar vibes.
Robble.
Really, really weird. Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I had my birthday over the weekend. I got told that I don't look 46 by a couple of women, which was really, like kind of nice. That's flattering. And I'm like, oh, I don't look old.
Are you saying that you look older than 46?
Yeah, that I look a lot younger, and I still don't look my age.
It's another joke with a
Man,
roadmap
you
to
don't
it,
look
guys.
46.
Yeah, you look a lot older.
You don't look 46. Jesus Christ,
Like,
where
I
have you been in the
would've guessed,
sun?
At least.
Oh God, yeah, I know. And then I just kept getting messages from this gal about like, you look like Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and I was like, I guess, but I don't know if I really
Dude, run with it, all right? Be native.
I'm okay with it.
I felt like that was a little bit of fake modesty there.
Yeah,
It was.
It's like,
Yeah,
maybe
it's
I
like-
do.
I wouldn't say that, but if
I
you
get
want to
it.
continue saying that and telling everybody here,
But I get it a
please.
lot, and then like everyone's like you were in The Walking Dead, and I'm like, no, I wasn't, and that's okay, fine. I need to lose like 30 pounds, and then maybe I can be and I don't know how Jeffrey Dean Morgan stays as thin as he does.
Cocaine.
Probably, or some. Maybe it could also be a combination of diet and exercise, but either way.
That doesn't work for anybody.
Really?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
But no, so I mean, so it was nice to get some unsolicited compliments, and and I had a fun birthday. Saw a lot of people I hadn't seen in a while. It was really good to see everyone.
Unsolicited compliments. Did you
Yep.
Did you shout at them? Stop objectifying me.
No, that's not. No, unsolicited is when they just offered it without me actually asking.
I know.
That's
There's
what unsolicited means.
I know what it
What do
means,
you,
but
what
it always
do you think
feels like
unsolicited means?
I feel like it always comes with a side of judgmentals, and that is unsolicited.
Yeah,
I did not ask you for that, Mr. Man.
Your child looks tasty, and he's coming home with me, and it's like that's not an unsolicited
You're
compliment.
not saying it right. You're not saying it right. All right. It's
Okay,
creepier.
whatever.
It's creepier when I say it.
Oh yeah. Anyhow, so no, it was a good weekend. I mean, it's a little uneventful at times, but I think I have the hardest time with the boredom. You know what I mean?
Sure.
When boredom sets in, and I'm like, oh my god, I got to do something. And 5 years ago, I would have been like, I'm gonna go to the bar, and now I'm like, I'm gonna sit on my ass and watch a bad movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
got you.
anyway, other than that, it was a good weekend.
That's good, man. That's good. Well, speaking of things that are uneventful, my name's Will, and I'm an alcoholic.
My name's Sticky. I'm an alcoholic.
My name's Steve. I'm not an alcoholic. But today, I was told that I look like a professional leg wrestler.
Oh, is that me?
It doesn't have to be. No, that silence was because now I'm like, what the fuck is a leg wrestler?
Hey,
Yeah.
I don't know either, man. This
Thank
was
you.
just what somebody told me.
All I can
Like,
think is it's like when two people are on a mat and they're facing opposite directions, but they're both on their backs.
They do that thing where they entwine their legs.
And they entwine their leg,
catch 'em at
their
the- at the
their
back of
right
the knee
leg.
and-
Yeah, catch the back of the knee, and then they
back of
try to
the
like
knee,
push
yeah.
the other one over. That's the only thing that I can think of.
Yeah.
To which
No
I would
kidding.
ask, what situation were you in that they thought that you looked like that?
Yeah, right.
Also,
Further question:
it's-
Why was it professional? Like, why was that specified?
Were you
That's
wearing
the-
a name
that's
tag
the-
or like
yeah.
a?
I did
Is there
have a
money
name
in
tag on.
this?
No, that's the whole thing. Is it perfect? Were you supposed to be? Were you like the Macho Man Randy Savage of leg wrestling?
Oh yeah!
Exactly.
Did you get paid
Yeah,
for
like-
for?
Slim Jim?
Yeah. Did
The
you
figure
get paid
four
to
really works in this
advertise Slim
profession.
Jims?
Yeah.
I mean,
I know. All right. So first of all, the professional thing, that's easy. I once got paid $5 to do a stand-up bit. I am a professional stand-up comic. I got paid for it. Okay, that's what it is. That's what it is. I've done
I don't
stand-up
think I was
comedy.
paid for this.
I was paid. All right, so I'm a
Your
professional.
resume isn't like littered with that particular.
No, it isn't. But I'm holding on to to that I have that $5 bill framed.
Oh,
So if you don't get paid, it's amateurish?
That's exactly right. Yes, 100%. So all the porn that you and Tiki shot in college, 100% amateur. Hi-yo!
that's not true. Actually, we did manage to get paid a couple of times. Cinco
Aw.
was a really silver-tongued son of a bitch.
He
I mean,
said,
and this is before
with an
OnlyFans,
anticipatory
so.
butthole.
Starfish.
Would you
There
put
was
that, would
there
you
was
put that silver tongue to use, man?
there was Starfish Surprise 1 and 2. Okay.
After the first time, what was the surprise?
Shut up.
That we did again!
Yeah.
The surprise is they filmed it twice.
There was the Lone Rider, which was a Lone Ranger spinoff, which involved him having a silver tongue that he used for. You know what? You get the idea.
No, I love that movie actually got panned because Cinco, you played the Lone Rider, and Tiki,
Allegedly.
you were his culturally
yeah.
appropriated
Yeah.
Native
That's why-
American.
That's why I got
Yeah,
banned. Actually,
that's
that was
why
why.
that's why that movie got banned. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not because of the bad acting or the weird porn or
Nope.
Cinco's strange-looking penis.
Yep.
It was definitely cultural appropriation.
It hooks to the right and the left. Looks like a lightning bolt. What did you do to that thing, dude?
It's
Jesus
not a
Christ.
fucking Demigorgon. What's wrong with you?
It's got a ziggle in the middle.
A ziggle.
I gotta look that up.
Fuck! Wow, this is a good psyop.
You psyop the shit out of us, Will.
This was a Steve psyop, right? He started with the
I'm
whole
pretty
professional thing, and now I don't know
sure.
where. Now I don't know where we're
Pretty
going.
sure you ran with it a lot more than Steve did.
Probably. I don't know. The joke, it's like a Robert Frost poem, all right? Knowing that way leads on to way, I wondered if I should ever go back. Cinco, are you an alcoholic?
No, I am not an alcoholic, but
Okay.
I am a breeder.
Yeah, he is. How many kids you got? 16, 17 by now?
Just 4.
All you got to do is aim for her belly button and not be inside her at the same time. That's all you got to do. It's real easy. Just make Lake Cinco, all right? Lake Cinco, right there. Clean it up.
Well, I did the Catholic, pull-out method, and that doesn't work out for me.
No, that's
That doesn't work out for most Catholics.
and every time it happens, you go, oh Jesus. There's the Catholicism part of it. All right, cheers.
Again.
There's a reason so many people are like, yeah, I'm part Irish. Yeah, because they're Irish and Catholic.
Yeah, Irish, because there's at least a couple Catholic Irish people.
And
Cheers.
Han.
Yeah.
Genghis
So
Khan.
I didn't have any temptation to drink. Tiki and I were around people drinking this weekend. So friend of the show, former host of the show, Danny, put together a little get together at his younger brother Rusty's house. And Rusty, we talked about him on the podcast a while ago. I don't know what his status is. I don't know where he's at in terms of his consumption of alcohol. I know that it was problematic at one point in time, but to be honest, I didn't see him like out of control. I didn't see him having any issues. Maybe he's figured out a way in his life to be able to engage with alcohol in a way that that I am personally not interested in trying to find. Just because the upside is what I get to drink. The downside is I will probably drink too much. That's so like I don't see that as being a particularly great trade-off. So more power to him. That's fine. But being in that circumstance, that was kind of the thought that was in my head most of the time that I was there, that I wasn't like laughing at the jokes and having a good time. But I didn't have any inclination personally to drink. Like the beverages that they had available that were non-alcoholic were in the same cooler as the ones that were alcoholic. I didn't reach for anything except for the 7-Up that I did drink. So yeah, it was that part of the weekend was really good. Maintaining control was really good. Dealing with the stuff that I had to deal with. To be perfectly honest, it just kind of cemented why I'm doing what I like. Every time I see somebody else fall prey to the worst parts of drug use, it just cements so much why I am walking the path I am, and I'm really, really thankful for it right now. And then on top of that, I've got a book that I've been reading by a guy named Gabor Mate, who's a physician who helps run a kind of an addict halfway house in Vancouver, British Columbia. And I don't think that you can read that book and not have like a visceral anti-drug reaction to it, because it's so incredibly, like, it's just so depressing. So it's a book called In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts. It's really good, but it's also one of those things like No Country for Old Men, or like anything from Cormac McCarthy, where you're like, you know what, I'm really glad that I read that. I don't ever want to read it again, because now I'm the saddest version of myself ever. So yeah, that's my check-in. Tiki, what do you got this week?
Not much. I haven't been tempted to drink at all. Been kind of seeing this gal. She's really cool to me. Like she like, I don't know, there's something about it. It's like she's like, I made a whole bunch of chili. Would you like me to bring you some? And I'm like, I like chili. like I made a whole bunch of this other food. Would you like me to bring some? And I'm like, I like food. So like she's like, you know, and I've talked to her quite a bit about my you know, my alcoholism and then even my bipolar.
Uh-huh.
And she's been super sweet about all of that, and it's been really supportive, and I'm really enjoying that. But no real temptation to drink, no real concerns or bothers. Been riding my motorcycle, still watching bad movies as I do.
Nice.
Was just triggered to remember one of them by what Cinco was asking me about earlier, and it was a really bad experience.
Move, Cinco. Dick move.
Yeah, it was like traumatizing. I was like, that movie was like an hour and 45 minutes of my life I'm not getting back. It was, and nothing happened for the entire damn movie. And it was a horror movie, and nothing happened. It's like watching the Blair Witch Project, and you're just like, something's going to happen eventually. Nope, I was just going to yell and cry.
No.
Okay.
End roll. Okay. Cheers.
Yeah, okay. Everyone looks pissed in the theater.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a lot like that. It was some sort of like art house, or some sort of like somebody's, you know, like private picture kind of thing that they had done a project of their own. But other than having like, you know, kind of the bad movie experience, everything else is coming along all right. I think the stuff with the job is a little bit of a slow pace. It's frustrating, but I'm trying to stay positive. But other than that, yeah, I've been doing all right.
Cheers, man. Cheers. Glad to hear that. Steve, do you have anything to share tonight?
Yes. It's not mine.
Okay.
But I have something to share. No, so a woman I know, is man, this woman needs an exorcism.
Oh my.
Yeah, she just has the worst luck. She's had a lot of tragedy in her life, and that's a bummer. My heart goes out to her for that. But she's dealing with a new one. And I asked her prior, to bring this up.
Sure.
If it was okay and stuff, and she said, yeah.
Yeah.
So her husband, who already has cirrhosis, was just recently diagnosed with liver cancer.
Oh.
Yeah. I guess they can't operate on it. His only recourse at this point, hope, would be a liver transplant.
Right.
Unfortunately, he refuses to quit drinking. And she's kind of got to a point where she's like, I can't tell you repeatedly, like, at this point you have to do it. Like, if you want to live, this has to be your choice. Because she's told me that how he's basically to the point where he's hiding it.
Yeah.
And she's like, you don't have to hide it because I can't make you do this.
Yeah.
So this is on you. This is your choice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, kind of a bummer, kind of heavy.
That's heavy. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's Jesus. Is this somebody close to you?
No, not particularly. More of a recent acquaintance.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's like I said, she's for someone who's had as much tragedy as she's had, and she's had quite a bit. This is just kind of piling on. I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, this woman needs an exorcism.
Mm-hmm. And not because she's possessed, but because she's fucking cursed. It seems like, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's fucking rough, man.
Yeah, it's a tough thing.
So one of the constant threads in the book that I'm reading is the idea that this guy's thoughts are about the nature of addiction as it relates to trauma, and that all addiction comes from an attempt to try to cover some kind of trauma. And I every single time that I think about somebody else's addiction where they can't stop, where they're not like in recovery or therapy or trying to work through it, all I can think is, Jesus fucking Christ, how big is that trauma that you have? Cirrhosis of the liver cancer, you will die. Your only hope is to get a liver transplant, and because you won't stop drinking, you won't do it.
It's not going to happen. Yeah.
You're going to die with a bottle in your fucking hand.
You will die. Yes.
And not in a gentle way.
Yeah, it's a bummer. And
Yeah.
when she told me that, that heart went out to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked about that one early on with there's the lesson that I learned on that a long time ago, and it took me forever to actually apply it, but it was a Michael Keaton movie. I think it was called Clean and Sober. And that's where the final theme of the movie is you can't control somebody else's addictions.
Yeah.
And that's like probably one of the most tragic and difficult pieces of everything that we talk about is, especially when you look back on our lives, for Will, you and I especially,
Mm-hmm.
is those times where you know that there was somebody who cared a lot about you and wanted you to change, but knew that they couldn't do anything directly to change you. They could only try indirect things. They could make threats, or they could do this, they could do that, but they couldn't actually control anything for you.
Yeah, or they beat their head against the wall of trying to change you and failing and getting more and more disillusioned with you until the possibility of them not being in your life anymore was a real and possible threat.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, but that's freaking tragic as hell, Steve. Man.
Yeah.
That sucks, man. Well, tell her that at least 3 more guys on a real small dinky podcast are all all feeling for her.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you just suddenly made me think of, what if there was a situation where you were like a ghost in a house, but your only real ability was to like encourage people to drink?
Oh fuck!
I
think they would just call you the devil.
No, you're just it's like you're a ghost in a frat house. and you're like, oh yeah, someone's gonna get cirrhosis. Someone's eventually, right? Like this is the long game that the ghost has to play in haunting.
What if they move?
That's the problem.
No, you stay.
like
You
the
stay in the
fraternity, like,
Alpha
gets
Sigma Pi house. All right, that's where that ghost stays. All right, he's the result of a horrific hazing accident. So anybody,
What happens when they get kicked off campus for like killing a pledge for alcohol?
Then that house remains,
there's another
and the
ghost.
next people who move into it, the ghost stays.
Yeah.
And start screwing with them until they think of an idea dumb enough as we should start a fraternity.
No, they like they move in. They move in to that house, and like 6 months later, they're all frat bros.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the haunting.
That's
right
what
there.
happens. Yeah.
The haunting of Sigma Pi House.
Nice. So we got this movie and the couch movie.
Yeah, we
Yep.
got 2 great movies here to make. I've got the film equipment, man. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Let's go.
Well, you talking about the killer couch?
Yeah, we got the killer couch. I don't care that
it's
you
already
keep
made.
telling me that it's already made. We're going to make it better /
real-
worse.
Hey,
don't know
if
how
that
you-
Star Wars thing when you told
Battle
us about,
Star Wars.
Battle Star Wars can exist.
That was a bad one.
Our couch movie can exist. too.
100%, Steve. Steve, I love that. I love where your head's at right now, man.
I was actually worried. Well, okay, so yeah, I was going to say more worried about copyright, but then Battle Star Wars did have a lot of copyright issues.
Yeah, what was your couch movie's name? Ticky, do you
I
remember?
think it's just called Killer Couch. I haven't
okay.
watched it.
Okay, Battle Killer Couch. We'll just name it that, okay? Copyright fucked. Yeah. Good job, everybody. Ha
Everybody
that in your
knows as
pipe.
long as you put battle in front.
Yeah, as long as you put battle in front of it. But yeah, I like the haunting of Sigma Pi House.
Terrible. Yeah.
That's so good. 1,000 years ago in a terrific hazing accident.
starring the futon.
You know what it
so
shouldn't be
good.
like? It shouldn't be something like that, though. It should be like 15 years ago. You know, like in the age before cell phones, like in 1997.
Yeah.
In the dawn of time, 1994.
So
You're welcome for that one. Yeah, please enjoy that slow burn of a joke.
But our frat brother who died, he would be really, really old right now if he was still alive.
If only he was still alive, man. Oh, Jonesy, I miss you so much.
So much.
he's like some weird old timey ghost trying to interact
So the-
with this stuff.
He was
the-
my
yeah,
big
he's-
brother.
From the 90s, he's all running around with a flannel shirt like wrapped around his waist and ripped up jeans.
Has a giant.
The new frat bros don't understand a word he's saying.
What is he saying, bro? I don't know, bro.
And the ghost can't change his dialogue because he's trapped in 1994.
Whoa! It just sounds like Keanu Reeves. Can we get Keanu Reeves for this?
Probably.
No, he's too respectable these days. They're making another
Constantine.
another Constantine movie. I don't know how I feel about that.
I
don't know
like the
either.
Constantine movie. I'm very.
I
happy
know
with
that
this.
right now that we've managed to tie in our frat bro ghost story alcoholic whatever movie idea and then somehow link it to Keanu Reeves. I'm actually pretty happy with the conversation at this point.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
I think
man.
the psy-ops can be over.
I'd like to call an end to the psy-ops. All 4.
We really managed to
3
tangle ourselves up.
opposed. Son of a bitch, Ticky. Motion does not pass. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, there
we're
was
going
there was the
on.
next part of me that all I could think about was in the middle of the movie there has to be some sort of leg wrestling competition.
And Steve's got to be a cameo. in it.
Yeah.
but with no explanation. It just
Yeah.
Just leg
Should
wrestling.
be something like that goes on at the fraternity.
yeah.
Yeah.
What? This is what frats
It's a-
do,
it's a-
bro.
This is how you establish dominance in the frat house, bro.
Some people do beer pong. We do leg wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%,
yeah.
man.
Even the frat ghost is like, I really don't understand.
I feel like the frat ghost was encouraging it.
Probably, yeah.
We didn't do that in the 90s.
You're my boy,
I was
Steve.
there. I
mean,
was there in the 90s. We didn't
Like-
do that.
When has it ever happened?
When will it ever happen?
In the 80s, because we all thought that was in. We actually, when I was a kid.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are you trying to create logical consistency in one of the bad movies that you would watch? Like if
No,
we're
no,
going
no, no,
to
no, no.
design a bad
Steve
movie,
is
there
asking
can't
for-
be any logical consistency in it.
Steve is asking for context and validity of this particular activity, right? I'm saying, all I was going to say was when I was a kid, we called it Indian leg wrestling. And I grew up in
Politically correct
Texas,
now.
which is
No, we
only a
can't
little
say
bit
that.
racist. But that was actually something that no, we actually thought that like the Native American tribes, that was like a sport or a pastime that they did. That's what we were told as kids, even in Bible camp. Well, although I don't know why in Bible
I don't
camp
know why
they
that would make
Even in
any
super
difference.
racist Bible camp.
Yeah.
looking back.
Bible camps notoriously known for their PC qualities.
Yeah, 100%.
God. Anyway, so
Oh,
well, there's a good origin
Canada.
story then. Let's just back off from that. That's
Okay,
a fun.
Okay.
Wait, we can storyboard this later.
Fine, we've had our fun. All right.
I mean, we could make a trilogy out of this. I mean,
Jesus,
you got,
yeah.
I mean,
you got an origin story, you know, then you
6
got the
seasons in a
sequel.
movie.
6 seasons in a movie.
Yeah.
I'm down
Jesus.
with it. I'm down with it. All right. We'll move on. We'll move on for Ticky's sake. Okay.
I can't believe I'm the only one who doesn't want to talk about a bad movie right now.
Maybe because you don't want your name directly associated with, like, as
No, I don't
as a
mind that.
connoisseur of one, you'd be okay. But
No,
like
I'd
as
be
a
fine with it.
creator,
I have more concerns right now about the copyright infringement with Killer Couch.
I already figured out the way around that, and it took me
Battle.
a really long time. I had to really plumb the depths of my my copious
That'll
intelligence.
be
for that
that,
one.
then we could tie in the word battle to the leg wrestling, battle leg wrestling, or
Battle
something
leg
like that.
wrestling.
Battle for
Killer
Sigma
Couch.
Pi.
Fraternity battle night, and then you like have like
Yeah.
leg wrestling. Oh my god,
Battle Royale.
it's so. I feel like I'm getting dumber just like talking about this.
And that's the save versus poison effect.
Yeah, I mean I'm like leveled out at this point, so it's
Yeah.
not going to go any worse. But
Cheers.
I felt like I went like a really good way
Definitely can't
down.
get worse.
Can't get worse. Okay. All right. We'll move on. Okay. So this week's alcohol-related topic of conversation. I think that's probably why we allowed the psy-op to go so long, because it's an uncomfortable one. So this past weekend, seeing Cinco for the first time in quite a while, due to a bunch of different things. But I think the last time that I saw you, Mike, was on your birthday, which was what, 9 months ago?
Well,
When's your birthday?
it's in March. But
Yeah, it's in March.
That was felt like it was longer than that. But
It feels like a little while ago. So, all right, only 6 months ago. All right, cheers. That was the last time that I saw you. When I saw you this weekend, there was a little bit of bandying back and forth. You know, hey, how are you? You know, the subject of the podcast came up, and you said, well, I've never been on your podcast. And you said it jokingly, but I could tell that there was a little bit of a sting behind the words. And we got to talking a little bit about it. And you brought up a portion of our shared history from back while I was drinking and Tiki was drinking, about an incident that happened one night that really, really bothered you. So why don't you tell the audience what happened?
Yeah, so basically a mutual friend of, all of us, more so Tiki and you, Will, passed away a while back. And, I, being a, kind of a first-time father, my kids were super young and stuff like that. I really don't get a whole lot of time to, go out and see my friends and stuff like that. And at the time, you guys were doing the, morning, going to a bar, drinking your feelings away kind of thing. And I was like, hey, I had to wait for my wife to get home, for the kids and stuff like that. And, basically I got a hall pass to, go and see you guys. A lot of people I haven't seen in a while too. And, I basically got kind of blown off, being like, hey, no, we're about to leave this bar. We're going to be going to another mutual friend's house and stuff like that. And then, 30 minutes came by, an hour went by. And I'm like, by then I could have been at this bar hanging out and whatever. And, I just kept on getting blown off. And finally, like, oh yeah, we're going to our buddy's house. So I get going, I go, and no one's there. And, it's starting to get like super late, it's like 9, 10 o'clock at night. And, even Tiki was like, "Yo, dude, just go to a bar and just wait for us." I'm like, I'm not gonna do that, you know. I just went home and I was super bummed out about it, and you know, it really hurt me in the sense of, you know, I understand that you're mourning a friend, and there is a little bit of, you know, there's a grieving process to that. And maybe I'm just being a little oversensitive about it, but you know, for someone like me who doesn't get really a whole lot of time to, you know, go out and see friends, that time's like you know, special for me, you know. And you know, it hurt, and you know, I was kind of bitter about it, and you know, and again, I'm super proud of both you and Tiki, like, you know, understanding your faults and trying to be better and being sober for as long as you guys are, and I applaud you for that. And you know, it wasn't something I wanted to, you know, pile on while you first were, you know, going through sobriety, because the last thing I want to do is, you know, make you feel like shit, and then, you know, you go back to the bottle to, you know, console yourself.
Sure,
kind of
sure.
thing, right? So, you know, but there was never really a good time to bring it up. You know, it was something that, you know, when you were first talking about the podcast, it was something, you know, I was thinking about, well, this would be a good space for, you know, me to, like, you know, vent some of my frustrations, and, you know, not trying to attack you or anything like that, just have an understanding that, and I hope the audience can relate to this too, that you know, it's when someone is, you know, an alcoholic, you know, they don't understand the ramifications, you know, of their actions. And you know, I love both of you guys so much, and you know, this is coming from a loving place. And I just, you know, I'm sure there's other instances as well where, you know, whether it's me or someone else that, you blew off or were mean to or whatever in some shape or form. And, you know, there needs to be, you know, an understanding of, hey, you know, you really hurt me. And, you know, again, I'm proud of you guys for being as sober as you guys are. And I just, you know, I don't know. I don't know where to go with it. I'm starting to tear up a little bit,
you're
so.
fine. You're doing fine. It's,
Yeah, call these dicks out,
yeah,
man.
call these fucking dicks out. No, the reason that
Yeah.
I try, like, as sober as you guys are, like, it just, all I could think was, yeah, that's exactly right. We're super sober. We're more sober than sober. Like it just
It sounds, yeah. I was
sparked
wondering,
sparked a funny brain moment for me.
I had a funny brain moment on that one too. No, Mike, I didn't know that you'd been holding that in for as long as you had. I'm sorry, man. I didn't realize that you'd been that upset. I will say that I can remember I didn't even drink that much, and I still don't remember too much about the end of where I wound up. But I do recall that it was like trying to herd cats at that bar. And that I remember even thinking, sitting I talked to Will, and it was like, no, we're going to go over to this other place. And I said, oh, okay. And in my brain, I simply assumed that if somebody says something's going to happen within 30 minutes, that thing will happen within 30 minutes. But then like an hour goes by and there's like no movement at all. It was like, well, what's going on? Like there was, because there was drinking, because there was a lot of people that wanted to see each other, and the overall shuffling of everybody's individual timelines, that fucked us all up. And I'm really sorry, man. I know that I was actually texting you at the time, and it was you know, I was thinking that no, we're gonna leave this bar any minute now. But you know, then again, I was looking at another mutual friend of ours making out with his ex-girlfriend and thinking, well, that's not
Those are
normal.
good decisions.
It's like, yeah, like everyone's making great decisions right now. It was weird though, because I remember being at that bar and thinking, I'm really not that drunk, and feeling kind of odd because I thought that I would really like push myself to that blackout point, but I didn't at that bar. And by the time we left, I actually felt fairly sober, but I think that night I overdid it like I always do. But anyway, yeah, no, I'm sorry, dude. I never would have thought about that like that. In my mind, I was thinking it was all a scheduling fuck up, and I never really put it beyond that. It was never anything malicious. You know me. I love you, man. I dragged you all the way up here to Colorado from Texas.
Yeah, no, like I said, it was. I can understand how time kind of gets away, but like someone who was basically sober the entire time that hour time became like 4 or 5 hours, and like my wife's like looking at me like, aren't you going? I'm like, I don't know where they are.
I to be honest, I didn't know the place where we were either. I'd never been there before, and I can't remember logistically how we even got down there. But yeah, I rode with Travis, but that's neither here nor there. At the same time, yeah, it's and you were right. I was thinking of it as a problem with logistics of hurting people who were just had different agendas and they were all over the place. All of them filled with nostalgia and mourning. And I was thinking I could somehow just get them together really easily and we would go. I don't know why I thought that was actually something that I could do, but it was something that I thought that I could do, and that's actually what led to it. I apologize. I actually didn't realize just how angry that made you or how upset you were about that. I really hadn't been. That was very inconsiderate of me, and I apologize.
Right.
So I'm going to start. I apologize to you when we had the conversation on Saturday, and I'll do it again. Mike, I'm really sorry, man. I wrote down a couple of notes while you were talking. The first thing is, whatever your feelings are, they're okay for you to A, have, and B, to express them to your friends. And have those feelings be heard and understood. That's all part of an okay thing. You should expect that from your closest friends. If I have a problem with a friend of mine, I should be able to go to that friend and say, "Hey, this really bothered me, and here's why." And this was how I felt at the time. And I can see why things may have happened the way that they did, but this is how I was feeling. This is what your actions made me feel.
Well,
and we can go from
part
there.
of the other thing too is, it's like holding this in because, I mean, this is probably not a great example. I'm sure there's others out there where they're like, yeah, this was really hurtful, and you're kind of fearful of like a little bit of a relapse.
Sure.
Because you're making your friends sound like feel like shit, in a sense, and that's the last thing I want to do as well.
Well, yeah, but you can't allow that to hold your feelings hostage. You can't worry about me relapsing. The things that you can do to make me relapse are shove a bottle down, like literally shove a bottle down my throat. Everything
Not
else
the bottle
is
itself, but the contents of the bottle.
Yeah, there. Thank you. Well, actually, good job. Haha, we snuck one in. Son of a bitch. But like the
One
things,
per show.
the way for me to relapse is for me to make decisions that lead me to relapsing. Engaging with you in an emotionally intelligent way is not going to lead me to a relapse. You talking to me this last weekend did not get me closer to a place where I was going to relapse.
I will say
that
this
wasn't
as
going
well.
to happen.
I will say this as well. For one, it's the first point I make is I already had the we already brought up the point of you can't control somebody else's addiction. You're not going to control anybody else's addiction. You can influence to some degree, but you cannot really control. And I will also say this, like Will and I both, but me, I talk a great deal about this. I've been in therapy for like 2 years now, almost really like 2.5. Dealing with the addiction problem, dealing with my other emotional issues and my baggage, and yeah, man. I mean, I'm not if as long as you're not screaming accusations, but if you were to just approach me in a calm and meaningful way, and we had talked about this at any other time, yeah, I'd be open to it. I'd listen to you.
And
Right.
by the way, that does not absolve us
No,
in
not at
any
all.
way, shape, or form. It's just making sure that you recognize that your feelings are valid, Mike. Your feelings are valid. You don't have to hide them from us. A big part of the problem, why men die so early, so young, is because we bottle shit up and we never talk with our closest friends about how we're feeling about stuff. There's, I think that there's times and places to do that. But if you were really hurt, and I believe it when you say that you were, that's something that you need to be able to talk to with us, because like, I can't say I love you, Mike, and mean it if I can't at least take your feelings at face value. That's really, really, really important.
Right.
So, so just to encapsulate the your feelings are justified. Your feelings are important to you, but us as well, and that's really, really important. We didn't need an excuse to drink that night. It just so happened that was a really easy one to just say, "Oh, our friend died. Well, guess what we're going to do?"
Yeah.
Same thing we always do. However, now it seems almost socially acceptable for us to do it in the way that we would kind of want to on a normal basis, but we hold ourselves back a little bit. So like the whole grieving process thing, yes, there was grief there, but you can't say I was drinking and grieving and that was the emotionally intelligent thing to be doing. The other notes that I have, like blowing friends off, that becomes so par for the course, I think, as you get older and you get locked into the things that are closest to you, like, families. Mm-hmm. It's really easy to start blowing off your friends because, I'm tired and I did, I had a 10-hour shift, then I did soccer, and you want me to go out and see you for 2 hours. I don't know if I've got the energy for that. I don't know if I've got the time for that. And especially when you're in the depths of active alcoholism, where if you go out and you get drunk, the consequences are dire. So you choose to do things like, well, I'm going to stay home and drink. So I'm going to blow off Mike because I don't want to drive anywhere and get in trouble.
Right.
I'm going to do what I normally do, which is grab the bottle out of the freezer, grab a beer so that I can hide the fact that I've been drinking with just, so that my breath smells like beer instead of the hard alcohol I've been slugging. That gets harder and harder, or easier and easier to do the further into that, those addictive processes that you get into. Trying to, like, every friendship is a relationship, and every relationship is work. It's always work. And you have been trying for the last couple of months to engage more than I think that you're getting engagement back. And for that, I feel like I have to apologize.
Right.
Because it didn't just, like I said, the times that I've seen you, I saw you at the Avs game, at Fireball's place. That was pretty perfunctory. And that was just late September, early October?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And then seeing you this weekend, and I was in your fucking wedding. Tiki and I were in your wedding. So yeah, it's really easy to take friends for granted. And that's something that when you are dealing with alcoholism is really easy to allow to happen, and is one of those things that in recovery, if the relationship matters to you, is something that you need to work on and work towards trying to find compromises that allow you to keep those people that you want to keep in your life there and present and interested. Because otherwise you're going to get lonely.
Yeah.
And loneliness is a big reason why a lot of people drink. Big, gigantic reason.
I don't know. I'm perfectly fine sitting around my house by myself watching terrible movies. Loneliness and boredom. I like the two.
Loneliness
I think
and boredom
the two,
are
like,
huge. Huge.
God. But yeah, so.
And this is the first time that I've publicly apologized for something like this, but it probably won't be the last. I still probably have to apologize to Claire for some stuff that I said. And that sweet angel of a woman.
Yeah.
Especially at the time of her life that she met me at my worst. Yeah. I'm betting there's probably a couple things that if she rattled off, I would, A, not be surprised, and B, would have to immediately start apologizing for and mean it. Because that's
crap,
the other
we have
part.
to mean it?
Yeah, you got to fucking mean it.
Oh!
That's the other part of it.
This is bullshit.
You need to come to your apologies.
I
and to
will come
making
when I'm damn well
amends
good and ready to come, or if
when there's
she's
a blue
hot.
hot dog on the screen. That's what I
Or a
thought, you
blue
son
hot
of a bitch.
dog on the screen.
But you gotta come to your apologies and to your amends, free of ego, free of trying to save yourself or save face, and instead recognize that you did damage to somebody that you care about. Own it, apologize, and hopefully rebuild those relationships.
Yeah.
So now that I've said that, how are you feeling, Mike?
Yeah.
Hopefully heard, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I do appreciate the sincerity from both you guys on this. It's sorry, I'm just trying to collect myself a little bit here.
It's okay, man. Take your time.
But no, I appreciate, I love you guys, and, I just want to make sure that, I need to be better about, expressing I'm feeling, I guess, wronged, and not worry too much about, well, this is probably a bad way of saying it, like the consequences, not even the consequences, or just the blowback.
That's
stuff like
perfect, dude. That's absolutely, you shouldn't worry about that. Like,
Yeah.
you like Will said, your feelings are perfectly valid. You cannot worry about theirs to a degree.
Right.
You have to come up with your own.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had been there, I never would have done that to you. I just want you to know. As my new best friend,
You wouldn't have shown up at the first place, all right?
I would have not been there to cause the problem in the first place.
What happened on season 4, episode 14? Well, Steve came out smelling like a fucking saint. That's.
Yeah.
We started off telling him that he smelled like pineapple and blue cheese, but no. End of the episode, and Mike was like, you know what? Fuck Tiki and Will. Steve, you're my new friend.
Yeah.
I mean, so what if he might be trying to cannibalize me?
Maybe.
That's kind of exciting, to be honest.
Cinco stays.
You know what's gonna happen?
How does
Is he going to
tall
eat me?
taste?
Is he not going to eat me? Let's
Great
flip the
thing
coin
is-
and find
Adventure.
Steve's only like 5'4", so he's gonna come at you with a knife and look like a pygmy from Diablo 2. It's gonna be great.
I've been
Probably
told I
should-
could take a lion.
Yep.
It's not going to show up like wearing a repelling harness. Carabiners on him hooked up to. All right, let's get to this thing.
I'm gonna climb you.
I'm going to grab you and then I'm going to eat you.
It's gonna
He needs
happen.
like those lederhosens, yodelay-hee-hoo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I do all my cannibalism in later.
In lederhosen. That's,
We will incorporate that into our movie about the killer sofa.
Oh my god, I can't
Oh,
wait.
this
Oh,
is
I'm
good
glad that
as
you're
we go.
guys,
Something.
we finally got him on board. He's finally on board. All we had to do was just get past the copyright bullshit, and now Tiki's all in. Okay, all right, great. I have a tripod. I got a recorder. I got the camera. Oh, it's gonna be so good. You don't even.
You got the
Couch.
lederhosen? 'Cause
Yeah.
that,
Dude, we got plenty of couch. I'm just gonna draw the lederhosen on Steve. I have markers. I have magic markers. They're permanents, but he'll look good.
Can I
It'll
be the
probably- it'll
ghost?
be good.
It'll be
Steve,
fine.
do you dress to the left or to the right? Got to make sure we get that dangle correct, because otherwise the
Alright,
illusion won't
Can
be there.
I gotta be the ghost because I think of all three of us, I'm the only one that's actually been in a fraternity, so I've got some background.
He's got some. He's our expert.
Will you
I was gonna
method?
say,
Will you
yeah.
method act for us?
I will.
It's like when that Moon movie or whatever has the astronaut on hand.
Fucking love that. That's awesome. All right. Does anybody have anything else that they'd like to share tonight? Steve.
I'm the best.
Good share, you fucker. Tiki, do you have anything you'd like to share?
No.
Cinco, is there anything you'd like to share?
No, I've cried my eyes out too much already.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Chopping onions.
All
I mean,
right.
if they did anything else to you, we could absolutely make them feel worse.
Yeah.
That's-
If this you could literally be.
This is your opportunity.
You could be Costanza's dad and be like, now for the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you fucking people, and that would be an appropriate thing to do right now.
No,
Or
We
if
gotta
you
do
want
it.
to just wait till next time, this could be like a reoccurring segment. Like,
This is
we have
This
you
is the
on
other
periodically to be like, and another thing, you assholes.
yeah.
I'll come up with some sort of a snappy name for the segment. We'll call it Cinco's Cranky Corner.
you know what really grinds my gears?
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
100%.
So,
All right, everyone.
do we have time for the video game section?
No. It's we're an hour into the show, so we'll do.
All right. We'll
we
do the
can-
video games.
Yeah,
It's
Let's
your
talk about
podcast.
leg
I'll let
wrestling.
you talk about it.
we'll do gaming.
That's true.
Next week.
That's true. We did bring up the leg wrestling. That's actually
We did.
that's
It's
a
a
game
game.
technically.
It's a game, yeah.
That-
There's a
I
point
think that we,
system, I
I
think.
think we actually just covered the basis on that one actually.
100%, man. 100%. No, I
Yeah.
think that tonight's subject matter was so very important and worthwhile that the geeky portion of the show is basically we're geeks. We're on a show. There it is. Enjoy, everybody.
God damn it! I wanted to talk about video games.
We'll have you back sometime, okay, man? I promise.
Well, I was gonna say whose fault is that? No, it's gonna be like Steve's. And
I
mine.
mean,
Steve's
it's
fault.
Robert.
Hey,
Will.
Cinco, I'm sorry, man. Steve
Mine
just keeps
again.
telling you that he really didn't like it when you were on the show.
Probably
It's Steve's
Steve.
fault.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy
Probably
says he's the greatest, but he just
definitely
keeps
Will.
calling you a dick.
Definitely Will getting psyops, me psyopsing myself and Will, Steve again. That's whose fault it was, really.
Yeah.
I think that it
100%.
was.
So you'll see me on season 8, episode 14.
Just like bring it up again in like another 2 years. And there was something you were talking about with video games or something.
Fuck, does it take 2 years to put out? No, it's like a year and a half.
In order to put out, that's the third date. Everybody knows
Oh,
that.
yeah. Gotcha. All right, everybody. Like every episode of the Save vs. Poison podcast, we like to shout out to the mutual support groups we hope you turn to in your time of need. Alcoholics Anonymous, AA.org, 212-870-3400. Moderation Management, moderation.org, 212-871-0974. Secular AA, SOS, sobriety.org, 323-693-1633. Smart Recovery, that's smartrecovery.org, 440-951-5357. And Women for Sobriety, womenforsobriety.org, 215-536-8026. And for family and friends that need some support in a group-type environment, there's Al-Anon family groups at www.al-anon.alateen.org or 1-888-425-2666. Mike, thanks so much for joining us. And from all of us here at the Save vs. Poison podcast, I'm Will.
And I'm Tiki.
And I'm awesome.
You fucker. And we wish you warm, creamy regards. Good night, everybody. You've just listened to another episode of the Save vs. Poison podcast. If you liked what you heard, please follow us, like, and subscribe on Twitter at @VS_save, on Facebook at the Save vs. Poison podcast, and streaming live on Twitch at twitch.tv/SvP podcast. Thanks so much for joining us, and stay safe, everyone.